What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Universal Crystals. Today we're going to be talking about 5 symptoms of the dark night of the soul. So 5 signs that you're going through the dark night of the soul. And if you're watching this video wondering if you're going through the dark night of the soul, you're probably going through a difficult time. And you've likely had a spiritual awakening recently, which sparked this dark night of the soul. So hopefully these signs will give you some hope and they'll let you know that everything's going to work out fine. But I know it's not always that easy when it's going on. It seems like it's the worst thing ever. And, I'm just here to let you know that no matter how many dark nights of the soul you go through, they're all here for your greatest good and it's going to help you in the end. But let's get into it. The first sign that you're going through the dark night of the soul is that you feel like you want a deeper connection. So if this is a relationship, your friendships, and by relationship I mean like a boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever, you feel like you don't really have as deep of a connection as you would like with other people, maybe even in your job, just your life in general. You don't feel like you have a deep spiritual and emotional connection to the things that you're doing, and you're longing for a deeper connection now that you've had this realization. Your mind, your whole life has been just opened up, and because of this, your old identity doesn't really match up with this new vibration that you're at. And you may be in like a low vibration while you're going through the dark night of the soul, but you're kind of shifting identities and shifting realities. And in the process of that, things have to fall away. And that's why this can be so painful. So you're in a relationship. It's been going okay. But now you realize that you and your partner don't really connect on a deep level at all. Or you've been friends with these people your whole life, but now you're kind of getting into these different things and they became friends with the old version of you, so they can't really understand the type of person that you are now, and you might not really have as many similar interests anymore. So you're kind of left in the dark. You're just like longing for a deeper connection, but you don't really know what to do. And so this can send you into the second sign, the second symptom of the dark night of the soul, which is you go into isolation. You just detach from the physical world. You don't really want, you want that deeper connection, but you don't really want to be around people, and you don't really know how you're going to be you're going to put yourself back into the world at all. It seems so confusing. It seems like there's no possible way that you can find other people like you. You feel so lonely and just misunderstood, and like everyone's judging you, even if they're not. You think that people are judging you way more than they actually are. And this can be just kind of a weird period in time where you don't really hang out with anybody. Like for over a year, when I first went through the dark night of the soul, I would see my friends maybe once or twice a year, and a lot of them were already out of town at college anyway, and that kind of sparked my spiritual awakening. And this isolation and loneliness could have sparked your spiritual awakening. And it's necessary to be alone. There are good things about this isolation because you were able to see your own perspective. You were able to, form a perspective that's not just based on what everyone else around you is doing and what everyone's always done. Because most people are just picking up on the ideas of the same people around them in their community, and that's why everyone has the same beliefs. And they keep these beliefs going over generations and generations and generations. And if you're just always around these other people that are dragging you into your ego, you can never really take the time to find what your true self is, and that's pure consciousness. That's how you you figure it out, going within. That's how you discover all of this in the first place. And it's not bad to hang out with people. I've been hanging out with my friends a lot more recently, and that's just proof that it gets better. But sometimes you need to take that period of time to be alone and just kind of do some self-reflection, you know, figure out what what you're doing, It's okay to take a break from being around a ton of people. And you can be lonely and feel alone, but you can be around a lot of people and feel way lonelier. And you can also be alone and feel way happier than you were surrounded by fake people. And I'm not saying like my friends are fake and all these people are fake. I'm just saying it was a difficult period of time because of my own judgment of myself. And the next symptom of the dark night of the soul, number 3, is that you feel like you don't have as much interest or love for things that you used to love to do. You don't really have the same spark and just passion for things that you used to love doing. Even maybe after your spiritual awakening, maybe you don't even want to meditate. You don't want to read any spiritual information or like law of attraction stuff. Maybe you used to be super into sports and now you don't really care about sports, or you used to watch certain shows and now those shows just don't do it for you. This may not last forever. You may come back to some of those things and you may not. But during this period of time, as I mentioned before, you're just kind of losing old things and letting go of things that were attached to your old identity, such as friends that maybe you don't have as much of a connection with anymore, relationship, which leads you into isolation. And this loss of interest in things you can do, you know, things that you used to do basically kind of hurts you as well, because you're isolated, but you're also like, what am I supposed to do? I don't really enjoy doing any of these things. So, what am I going to do? And I know a lot of these symptoms are just like symptoms of depression, but this is more of a spiritual depression because it was sparked by a spiritual awakening. In whatever way that came, people talk about twin flames in the dark night of the soul. That's how mine started. Like maybe you're in a relationship or you meet your twin flame. This whole thing happens. There's a huge breakdown of the relationship and it shatters your ego. It shatters your sense of self. And you're just broken. You're left with nothing and you're starting from the ground up. This is the dark night of the soul, but this is the most important time for transformation. It is going to get better. It is definitely going to get better, and you will find things that you love, and you'll find things that you're way more passionate about than the things that you were doing before. This is not a mistake. This is happening to you for a reason. But the next sign that, all these 3 things can kind of lead you into this next thing, which is pure hopelessness. And this is probably just like kind of an like overwhelming symptom of the dark night of the soul, is hopelessness. You are hopeless. You're like, I have no friends, but I don't want to go out and meet people. Sorry. I don't want to go out and meet people. I'm worried about people judging me. I don't love doing things, really. I don't know what my passion is. I don't know what I'm going to work on my own. I don't know what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do what I love, whatever. So you just feel hopeless. You don't know what the heck life even is. I don't know what this channel is. Like, what did I even start doing after my dark night of the soul? I got on YouTube and started ranting about my feelings because nobody else understood them. And here I am. But yeah, you're just hopeless. You don't really know what you're going to end up doing, and this is a really difficult feeling because I heard someone say recently that happiness is having something to look forward to. And while we want to live in the present moment, if you have no idea what is going to come in the future, after living your whole life, a certain way, having this certain vision for the future, and having that shatter, possibly making plans for your life, having those fall away, it can be a scary thing. And trust me, I know it's a very scary thing. to really just not know what life even is and what you're supposed to be doing here. You know, but again, if you're thinking too far ahead into the future, looking back on your past and getting down on yourself about things that you've done, you're not going to ever be able to make the change. You've got to realize that the journey is actually the destination. The destination is this journey that you're on. Be like Kobe Bryant and just love the game. Love it so much that that's all you care about is the game. You don't actually care as much about the rewards as you do. Like, that's why he put in so much work, because it wasn't as much work to him since he loved it so much. He cared that much about it. So embrace the journey. Enjoy the moments that make up this journey. This is your origin story. You're in the dark night of the soul, but this is your origin story. You're going to come out of this so much stronger. This is your own movie. Direct it however you would like to. Don't direct it how other people think you should. People are victims of social conditioning, and they'll tell you what you should do with your life. And everybody might think you're weird, but if you know you have a gift for something, you weren't given that gift by accident. And I really don't believe it's a coincidence that you have the talents that you have and the natural passions that you have. I believe that we should act on those, because that's what we're really here to do. You know, this life is really short. Days can seem very long, but the years go by very fast, and before you know it, it's been so much longer than you even realized. But at least spend that time doing something that you truly feel is authentic to you. And this isn't really one of the signs listed, but you're going to become more authentic going through the dark night of the soul. Even if you feel unhappy, you're still going to be feeling like the most authentic version of yourself, at least building up to that. And you feel more comfortable at least doing the things that you are passionate about, instead of doing things that might make you look better and be perceived as someone that you're really not. The next, fifth and final sign of the dark night of the soul is a feeling of unworthiness. And now this can probably be, attributed to past experiences, whether you got broken up with, cheated on, you didn't make a sports team, you made bad grades and you feel like you can't ever make good grades now. Whatever it was that took such a hit on your confidence and your self-esteem that got you to where you are now, feeling like you're not good enough, you got to let that go. And I know it's difficult because these past experiences leave memories, and it's a stamp in your mind, and you remember how it felt when you got rejected, or how it felt when this happened, and you never want to try again because that might happen again, and you might get that feeling again. But you're never going to attract new things if you keep believing that you're worthy of attracting a certain level of things. When you can start to change your internal world and believe that you are worthy of better things, you will attract better things. Now, what are better things? Whatever that is to you, right? It doesn't have, don't have to be material things. It's not really what I'm talking about. Just better relationships, better life experience, and more money equals more freedom in a way. So if that's the way I see money, is if I want more freedom, money is not a bad thing. If you're using the money because you want to be able to be free and live your life on your own terms, don't see money as a bad thing, because you're going to be repelling the energy of money. You want to attract these things to you. So, this is a whole nother discussion about how you can get yourself to believe that you are worthy of things, but it's a definite sign that you're going through the dark night of the soul if you're starting to feel unworthy on top of all of these other signs, and it can be very difficult. Many times we feel unworthy because we're basing our value on the external opinions of others. We're basing our value on what other people think of us. They don't really know you, even if they've known you forever. they don't know you as well as you know yourself. And so if you're not comfortable with yourself at night, but you're comfortable, because other people think you are, is that really better than other people perceiving you in a certain way that's maybe not true, but it's because you're being true to yourself. We can get into a whole nother thing about what is the self. When I say self, it can be meant in different ways. But the point is, you are worthy for just being you. And remember that. You are worthy for just being you. Just being here, you are worthy. You don't need to feel like you are going to be banished because you're not doing certain things and all this. Strive to be better. But when you're going through the dark night of the soul, the worst thing you can do is beat yourself up and judge yourself and feel like everybody's judging you way harder than they actually are. It feels like you feel like everybody's looking at you, nobody's paying attention to you, but you think they all are. And it can feel like the world's just coming down, the world's just crashing down on you. But I encourage you to fight through this. Maybe don't fight it. Maybe just go within. I know it sounds bad. You probably don't even want to meditate or even think about it. But if you do it, I think you'll feel better. And on top of that, do new things that your old identity would have never done. Put yourself outside of your comfort zone, where it's definitely uncomfortable at first, but that's where you're going to thrive. That's where you're going to transform. And that's where most people never dare to go. And if you want these great things, you're going to have to do things outside of the box. And you're already doing something outside of the box. You're going through the dark night of the soul. A lot of people don't really understand this, and that's why I started this channel, because it's difficult for people to have someone to relate to, especially my age. It just feels like a period of isolation, as I mentioned, where you're hopeless, you're lost, you don't know what you're gonna do. But I've got a playlist on the Dark Night of the Soul, so go ahead and check that out. You can see all my Dark Night of the Soul videos, even times where I was in the darkness. Throughout a lot of the channel, I've been going through many Dark Nights of the Soul and kind of giving my experience as I go, and you can see this transformation. That's my goal, is to inspire other people, to show them that it can be done. I would have never expected myself to be doing something like this. I'm still breaking out of my identity, still having to get over the fear, run through the fear, do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain. Do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain. And that's it, I think. Lights out, baby. Universal crystals forever.